All right, what's going on, everybody? Happy Monday, happy Fed week, and I hope everyone had a fantastic day. And so let's jump into it. Gold only goes up. Everybody knows this. No, let's go over everything that I did today, and we'll just go from there like we typically do. So, with gold, I placed some debit spreads in GLD on Friday, and we'll go over here to this because I watch, like the futures chart for gold, not really GLD. But on Friday, I went long gold with debit spreads. Those were May 23rd, $300 on the long call, $310 on the short call, so a $10 spread, which is what I typically always do. And the dog in the background. So $10 spread. I paid $385 for those. Really good price for those debit spreads. I sold those today for $515, which is a 34% gain. And we'll go over everything here really quick. So on Friday, Thursday, right here, I was looking and thought, dang, gold looks really good. So this is Thursday in here. This is on a 5-minute chart. But anyways, on Thursday, I thought, man, this looked really good. So Friday morning for market open, I went long gold, which, I typically don't do. However, unless the move has already taken place that I wanted to capture, if that move has already taken place and price kind of bottomed, then I'll go after it first thing. And so that's what I did. And this really got booted down. So these closed on Friday down around 15% or so. These were shorter dated, and debit spreads are fine to do that, in my opinion. And then this morning, what had happened, I'll show you where I got out. And my plan was, given the fact that there's FOMC this week, and gold was up like, what was this, like 2.5% or something, so that is a huge move overnight. So any sort of weakness, I was going to get out of these. Like I said, with FOMC this week, and right here, right here, this looked super strong and bullish, and then this gave it all back. I waited like another 10-15 minutes, and it just was petering out, right? So I set where I was cool with getting out for like a 35% gain, 34% gain, and got out. And it looked like that was a good decision throughout the day, as this was kind of failing and coming down and just not looking so good through here until the end of the day, and it just skyrocketed. I mean, that was an unbelievably strong move for gold, so strong. And through all this, I would have got another like double. Those were up to like 68% or more, something like that. Yes, there's a lot of money that was left on the table, but I sort of traded what my plan was. I didn't have any long-term goal with gold, long-term holding plan with gold. And given this most recent day back here, I was a little bit skeptical of any sort of sustained rally, but it looks like I'll be proven wrong on that. But if I get proven wrong and still take a gain, then that's cool. I'm very happy with that. Let's see this on the weekly chart. Yeah, so it's showing really good strength. And let's look at silver here. See how silver's looking. Yeah, see, Silver's trying. Silver's trying. Gosh, this was so crazy. Yeah, I was in all this. Gosh. Yeah, and it was acting great. Thought, man, I had a great buy point. No. But, all right. So that was it for gold. Now let's go over. Oh, we can go over other things I did last week. I think this was on Friday, EWG. Yeah. So Germany, again, you guys know that this has kind of been on my radar, as Germany looks the best in terms of any sort of market index, and. So, you know, all-time highs, and yes, it was sort of in an extended area, but you know, it's at all-time highs. So I went after. Oh, and by the way, gold was a nice position size. It was really a full position, which I typically don't do right away. But for example, so EWG is just a third of a position size on here. But anyway, so those are July 18, $39 strike price. 235 is what I paid for them. Those are showing that those are currently flat, but I think it's just at the end of the day maybe the sell off. But anyways, those should be up around like 7% or so. In all reality, it's like up 7%. But so, all right, now I'm still in take two, and the other day, take two had a huge down day, huge gap down, and so I'm still in these. What is the 223.76? So you know, a dollar or two, and this huge gap down that was like an 8% or so gap down was due to the fact that they are delaying Grand Theft Auto until next year, which is quite the bad news. But this stock showed strength, so we'll give it some time and maybe see what happens. It's rebounding sort of nicely, you know. It's not like I really have much of a cushion at this point, but this is also a third of a position size, so we'll see how this plays out. Let's look at this on a weekly chart, and let's see. Yeah, so it's really not in any sort of extreme territory on a weekly chart. This is an okay base. I really hate this big down day there. But we went over that. We talked about it. Was there a gap to fill? Yeah, there was that gap to fill, and markets were really selling off. So yeah. All right, moving on over to MicroStrategy. And MicroStrategy is acting really, really well. You know, I still have a third of a position size on. When I got into this, what is it at? 330? Oh, 230. Wait, that doesn't make any sense. 230. I'm not in that 230. I wrote down 230. No, it's got to be like 330 I'm in. Was it that high, 330? No, I think it's around 300. Alright, so for the sake of this video, we'll say like 320. It's somewhere in here. It's somewhere in this whole area right in here. So for now, we'll say around 320. That probably sounds about right. Maybe I just wrote down 230 and it's 320. So anyways, MicroStrategy still holding up good. I still have a third of a position size on in MicroStrategy. Around the 21-day moving average, I'll be looking to add. I would have really liked this thing to have pulled back, so I could have been adding to this, but it's just kept grinding higher, and that's totally fine. So now I have a huge cushion in this, and it's showing some real good strength. So therefore, you know, any sort of pullback or meaningful pullback, you can be a little bit more confident that it'll get bought, right? Let's look at this on a weekly chart, and this looks fine on a weekly chart. It's not sort of in any sort of extreme area. Let's see on a monthly chart. Yeah, see, same thing. Same thing. Wow, look at that monthly candle. Whoa. So let's go over to Bitcoin, because that is what is important here with MicroStrategy, is how Bitcoin is performing. And I really like this pullback in Bitcoin. Not a lot of volume here up into this sort of resistance area. After a huge run up and the downtrend being broken, blast right through the 50-day moving average like it was nothing. This whole sort of area in here, no volume pickup at all. In fact, the volume's kind of dying down a little bit, and that is a good sign. This is starting to pull back, so yeah, around the 21-day moving average would be awesome. It would be really cool to see some sort of shakeout and rebound. Yeah, really interesting. Wow, is this a double bottom down here? Huh, cool. That's something I never saw. Wow, it is. This is in fact a double bottom, and this is a really cool double bottom actually. The ones that I believe are the best is you want to see the right hand side of the double bottom below the left hand side of the double bottom. It'll shake everybody out. So yeah, that is in fact what we're looking at. And as it was breaking out of the neckline, nice strong volume. So yeah, I don't know if anybody else agrees with me. I haven't seen or heard anyone else say that, so who knows? But to me, we'll go with that for now. So now let's go. Let's look at this on a weekly chart. Did we already do that? Yeah, we did. Yeah, it's fine. No sort of extreme levels, whatever. Yes, you're seeing the stochastic up here, but the stochastic is not a sell signal. It is used as a buy signal. Monthly. So where the RSI is used more as a sell signal than a buy signal, in my opinion. Around 50 RSI is typically a good buy signal if it's corroborated with other variables, but RSI is a really good indicator of when things are getting extreme to the upside. And yeah, here it's not. I mean, look at this monthly candle. Wow, I guess I didn't know that. I never looked at the monthly candle until now. It is only May 5th. Oh my gosh, it's Cinco de Mayo. Can't believe I'm not drinking a margarita. All right. So cool. Bitcoin looks fine. Let's look at some Bitcoin miners. I haven't looked at Bitcoin miners in like a week. Down 9%. This really is troubling. Like it's so troubling. I am one of the largest Bitcoin proponents that there is. Not in terms of fiat value, although that is a byproduct, but more in terms of the human aspect of it. In terms of El Salvador, you see a country like El Salvador that adopts a Bitcoin standard, and the people of the country are flourishing. The people that left and have come back, and they had to leave, for safety reasons, because of how horrible El Salvador was, they've since come back, and they cry tears of joy of how beautiful that country is now. And that is what Bitcoin represents. It represents hope. It doesn't represent, more dollars. That's kind of a hypocritical view that Bitcoiners take that I see far too often, because to come to the realization that Bitcoin is amazing, you have to first understand that fiat currency is terrible. So it's a weird conundrum where Bitcoiners celebrate more fiat. It's a strange irony and hypocrisy that is very dangerous because, gosh, am I going to go off on this full tangent? I won't. I'll save you guys all. You could kind of research or look up for why that's a bad thing. But because if all you care about is fiat from Bitcoin, then you're not doing any transactions on chain. Therefore, destabilizing the network. Therefore, in the long run, that will be bad for the price of Bitcoin. So Bitcoin's a funny instrument. That is a beautiful thing. Clean Spark. Oh yeah, and so where I was going with this with Bitcoin miners, we need to see Bitcoin miners performing better. This is not good, This is not good. Hut 8, because I mean we're in a bull market. Bitcoin's in a bull market, and there will be a bear market. And if this is how they're performing during a bull market, then I am very, very concerned. Let's look at Bitfarms. Yeah, these just look terrible. Gosh, just terrible. Is this like some big? Yeah, I don't know. All right, so that's that. Is that all my holdings? Oh no, it's not. Oh man, if you guys remember, so GTX Garrett Motion. Remember, I got in this at 8, and anything below 8, I was gonna get out of, and also, equities were just terrible. Well, look at this rebound. And when was this? After the earnings, blasting up high volume. So I got in this very next day. I just saw it that day and was like, dang, I got to get a piece of this. So 1083 is the average cost basis. Wow. Yeah, see, that looks a little ridiculous, but you got to go for strength, So 1083. And then looking at this again, this is such a long base. So, the saying, the bigger the base, the higher in space. Things are totally in extreme levels right now. Gosh, this could be the start of the move higher, So if you think that this is really extended now, these sorts of stocks can get wildly extended. And look at this on a monthly chart. Look at this full on shakeout, which was me. Closed. Wow, that was good. See, if I was just paying more attention to this, I would have been like, oh no, I got to get in pronto. But I wasn't. So that's what I get. Anyways, up a few percentage points. And I will most certainly be adding to this. Again, these are all just a third of a position size. And things are working out again. So, yeah, it's fantastic. Like with gold, yeah, I could have been double what it was, but I traded my plan and, real nice gain and, missed out on a lot. That's showing that that things are working. And that's good. That's not bad. That's a really good thing. It's much better to be wrong and make money than to be wrong and lose money, right? So, these are good things. These are all things that I store about in terms of market conditions, market sentiment. So anyways, that's that. Now let's move over to indexes and just kind of see where everything's at, and we'll go from there. Markets are at suspect area. It's a suspect area. With the Fed meeting coming up, stalling out here around the 200-day moving average, the chance of this continuing higher than going lower is less. However, the strength of this market has been very shocking. So there's that. Given we'll see how this pullback transpires this week, for a chance then to go after this and for another serious, powerful move. I saw an article that said money managers are more bearish than they've been in 26 years, which is a really good thing to see. That's not a bad thing to see. Again, you fade market sentiment. The price is nothing more than just, human psychology for the most part. So when we're in a raging bull market, and institutional investors are all in. You saw, last year where it said, short sellers have given up on selling short, with institutional investors. And there's more exposure than ever before. Like, those are not good signs. Those are that sentiment to fade, and the same sort of thing right here with this massive rebound and very strong recovery. When it's saying money managers are more bearish than they've been in 26 years, which is quite a long time. I mean, what are they talking about since the dot-com bubble? They're more bearish. They're more bearish now than they were in the Great Financial Crisis. Seems quite ridiculous to me. But I don't really have any sort of contrarian position per se, other than the fact that I do kind of believe, like I said, a couple weeks back, that this bear market, was that it? Was that all? Things don't look bad. But I still expect more of a pullback. And could be completely wrong, but regardless, there isn't a good risk to reward here for me to go after any sort of meaningful position here. Let's look at this on a weekly chart. So, this looks good. But yeah, you'd expect a pullback. Again, as long as this pullback is pretty orderly, look at this on a monthly chart. I don't know how that's bearish. That's not bearish at all. I mean, that's like wildly bullish. Jeez. It's like the worst week and the third worst week in, of all time, or whatever that crazy number was completely bought and then closed at the dead highs. That's not something to be bearish over. That is for sure. Now, short term, yeah, and we'll see how this transpires. If volume really picks up and we start moving down, then I would be more cautious. So that's just my opinion on this, on where current market is at right now. So Dow, doing Dow things. Let's get rid of this. This is dumb. I don't know what I was doing. Dow. Let's look at Russell. How's Russell holding up? And that's all Russell's doing is holding up. But I mean, this is violent. This is violent selling. This very well could be over. I mean, this is insane. Just because it happened so quickly, it almost feels like, what, was that it? But yeah, that was extremely violent and huge moves. And it's rebounding quite nicely. So, all right, let's go to S&P. And sort of same thing. I don't know. I don't know what you guys expect. We'll just continue up, hopefully this does roll over some more on lighter volume, and this Fed meeting, everyone starts getting freaked out and blah blah blah, and then we head into Thursday and Friday and that gets bought. I think could be fantastic. All right, let's go over financials. Wow, looking really good above the 50-day moving average. That's awesome. Now communications. Communications looks okay. Go over utilities. Utilities rocking and rolling. Let's look at real estate here. We gotta look at bonds. Real estate looks like crap. Really bad, actually. Bonds look interesting. to go after. Huh. Let's look at regional banking. And yeah, doesn't look good. Oh shoot, let's look at energy. Energy's got to have been getting clobbered. Ugh, man, terrible. Such a crazy crazy stuff can happen in markets, right? I mean, anything can and does happen. Energy looked really strong and then just got absolutely blasted, you know? So, yeah, it's like really good. Well, you know, I mean, this 50-day moving average was still down. So, you know, right here was still, you know. But regardless, that's pretty wild. All right, now let's go over corn. Corn got slammed. Wow. Yeah, see, I just never pulled the trigger on it this time around. Yeah, just... Yeah. All that strength in here was just getting sold, and nothing could have transpired, and I just stayed out of it. Wow, today it was sucky. That's crazy. All right, gold, silver. Let's look at wheat. I wonder if wheat really got sold off today. Yeah, it did. Man, it looks terrible. What's up with palladium? Nothing. And that's it. Let's look at some copper. And it doesn't look good. Let's look at, ooh, speaking of not looking good, what's up with China? We haven't really been paying attention. Yeah, really nice base right up to the 50-day moving average. Yeah, see, it's hard to be really bearish. I mean, you know, China looks okay, right? Like, you know, I mean, this isn't bad. This is not rolling over. You know, Germany has made two high all-time highs in a row. I don't know Argentina's, but look at this. India, nice rebound here with India. It's got a gap to fill up here to 55. You know, I wouldn't go after this here, so my opinion on the fact that this looks good is meaningless because this doesn't meet my criteria to go long here. So, you know, that's kind of meaningless. But regardless, there's certainly strength in here. Yeah, see 200-day moving average, boom, 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 kind of breaks out. Not on good volume, but let's look at Mexico. Oh, Malaysia, whoa. What is Mexico? EWW? Yeah, EWW. So, yeah, you know, I mean, this is not rolling over, right? You know, things are not rolling over. There's strength out there. What the heck is Argentina's? Is this it? Oh, gosh. What is Argentina's? Yeah, I don't know it. I don't know it off the top of my head. I would have to look it up, which we aren't going to do here. I'll have that ready to go for next time. But, yeah, so, yeah, I don't know what else to say here. Things are okay. We're going into, you know, the Fed meeting, and I wanted to sort of limit my exposure to things. I have, like I said, a third of a position size on a couple stocks that I plan to hold for a long time. Although with Take-Two having that huge gap down, I most likely will not be holding that one for a long time, unfortunately. But yeah, you know, GTX could go way down, and that's fine. I'll still buy more. It looks great. I'm looking for another opportunity to add to that anyways. I was late to the party on that one, and such is life. We'll let that ride. And yeah, just, I don't know, tomorrow and Wednesday, or is the Fed meeting Thursday? I can't recall. I believe it's Wednesday. So, we're just going to chill. And best case scenario is a pullback on lighter volume. That gets bought going into Thursday and Friday. So, something else that's kind of interesting is Nike. Nike has really been beaten up, and was such an iconic brand like Nike. It's interesting stock here. Really interesting. Really interesting. I mean, look at this. Well, I'm not going to try and pick a bottom. But this is something to keep an eye out for. Jeez. I think, what an iconic brand. How much worse can it get? The reason I asked that is going over to Disney. Jeez. Oh, let's go over Mag 7, and then that's it. Then we'll call it. Oh my gosh, hockey's on right now. I got to get out of here. Okay, Tesla looks weird. I don't know. I don't have an opinion on Tesla. Meta, see, back above the 50-day moving average. Would the chance of this moving higher in the short term, greater than kind of going lower, maybe filling this gap, some sort of shakeout coming up, no, but still, looks okay. Oh, let's see Microsoft. How's Microsoft performing? Wow. Oh yeah, see, that's the other thing. Huge gap up on earnings. That's great to see. Now this gap up here, again, to talk more about gaps, we said that this will get filled, and it has. We'll see now, because again, there's this old gap to fill on the downside, which will get filled at some point. But Amazon, wow, Amazon really doesn't look good. That's very surprising and kind of fortuitous, right? If you want to be bearish, think, wow, Amazon has not really gained anything back. I guess from like the lows here, right? But in terms of like any real strength after all this selling, not really. Okay, Google had a good reaction to earnings, but gave it all back. Wow, this was really good. Beneath 160 and close right here. This is something I didn't pay any attention to, but if I did, I would have certainly gone after this. That was awesome. A shakeout below 160 and closing up here. That was kind of like a no-brainer move right up, for like $3 or $2 right up to the 50-day moving average. That was a pretty sweet one to get. And let's look at Netflix. Ooh, Netflix. Let's see how Netflix is doing. Yeah, I don't know. It's tough. It's really hard to be bearish. I don't quite know what sign you would take for being bearish. I just don't really know. Wow, look at this. See Walmart. Again, right here, I could definitely see this pulling back, right? But this is certainly strength in here. So then let's look at Target. So if Amazon looks so terrible, gosh, wow. What the heck? This is something to be bearish about. This is terrible. What? This is horrible. Target looks awful. This is crazy. That's wild. Dollar Tree. Yeah, see? Now back above the 200-day moving average. Do I think this isn't going to continue higher from here? I don't know. But yeah, I don't exactly know what to really be bearish for. Okay, now last retailer, Costco. Now let's look at Nordstrom's. Yeah, see, Costco, you think gold only goes up forever? Costco goes up forever. What was the other one I wanted to look at? Dollar Tree. Gosh, I've already forgot. Oh, Nordstrom's. What is Nordstrom's the weirdest ticker symbol? J something? There it is. JWN. No idea why. What in the heck happened all through here? Weird. Yeah, I don't know. Nordstrom's. So, yeah, that's it. Gosh, and it's 5:15. We got hockey on right now. Woohoo! Oh, last one, Berkshire Hathaway. Mr. Warren Buffett, the man, the myth, the legend, retiring. Good for him. Crazy, huh? Here's another stock that only goes up. Let's see this. Jeez. That's wild. It'll be really interesting to see what transpires over the next decade with Berkshire Hathaway. I wonder who's... You know, the politics that's going on in the background there is probably next level crazy. All the fighting that's going on for positions in there. That's probably wild. All right, you guys. Tuesday. I can't do anything Tuesday for a video. But Wednesday I should. So, all right, you guys. We'll catch you later in the week.